What up, YouTube? Beretta guy coming to you from the basement. Today we're going to clean my Beretta PX4 Storm. It's compact, chambered in .40 caliber Smith & Wesson. It's my everyday carry. I took it shooting today, so let's get down. I know there's a million videos on cleaning all the pistols out there, but I'm new to the YouTube world, so you got to start somewhere, right? So here's how I clean my Beretta PX4. First thing we're going to do is we're going to safety check it. This weapon is loaded because it is my EDC. So we're going to, safety's on. I always, when I carry it, the safety's off. But when I'm at home and it's not on my belt, I put the safety on. Just a little extra added layer of protection there. So let's pull out the magazine. Let's take out this round that's in the chamber. And now the gun is safe. As you see, nothing inside, nothing inside, nothing inside. Since I can get my views with the cameras right. Okay, so if you've never seen a PX4 Storm before, it's a pretty nice gun. It's very comfortable to carry. I like it. Of course, I am the Beretta guy, so I do like Berettas. But it tears, let's field strip it. It field strips like a Glock. If you look here, there's a little lever pull down. There's one on this side too, right in the same spot. It's actually a single pin all the way across. So you don't have to pull it back like a Glock. You know, with the Glocks, you gotta slightly pull back the slide. You don't have to on the Berettas. You just pop them down, and the slide comes loose, and take it off. Okay, I shot about 200 rounds today. I've put a little over 1,000 rounds over this pistol. It's been flawless. I really enjoy this pistol. Okay, so next is take out the locking block and spring, recoil spring, which comes out just like any other gun does. The spring sits in this little carrier here in the locking block. Just pull it out. It is a captive spring, so you don't have to worry about it bouncing all over the house. As you see, we do have some. I'm not getting a good focus in there. You see, we do have some copper scoring on there, and barrel, just give it a little twist and it falls out just like any other gun. Okay, so now we're properly stripped. Okay, so the first thing I do, I always use full metal jacket. I don't get a whole lot of buildup or anything, but I just use Hoppy's bore cleaner. You can use any bore cleaner out there. It's all personal preference. I just spray a little bit in there and just leave it sit while I'm cleaning the pistol. You want to be in good ventilation for this. Some of the stuff has nasty smells and odors and chemicals. I don't mind it. Some people really don't. That's why a lot of people use the frog lube, because it's all natural and all this. I kind of like the smell of stuff like this. I am a machinist, so I'm working around chemicals and solvents all day anyway. So I clean my pistols with break-free CLP. You can pick it up at Walmart. It's cheap. The thing I like about it is it lubes. It will not damage the finish of your pistols. If it's left on there for any length of time, it's a little less, I guess, a little less corrosive than Ballistol or any of the other ones, but I'm not knocking Ballistol or anything. I think they all work well. I just happen to like CLP. So I just spray a little bit on there and in there, and I get the rails. I'll leave that set for a second. Just a little shot here on the locking block assembly. And a little shot on some of the areas of my frame. You don't need a lot. and a little bit on the spring. You really don't need to do the spring too much. It doesn't really see a whole lot of buildup or anything, but it lubes it, so why not, right? Let's see where I get my towel. Okay, I have an assortment of brushes here. I have a brass brush for the heavy duty cleaning. You do not want to use this on the outside of your pistol. You will scratch. I mean, it is brass, it's softer than that, but you can wreck the finish on a pistol real easy if you start going to town on the outside of it. I have a nylon bristled brush with a small end here. These are good for cleaning just about everything, rifles, pistols, whatever. You can pick these up at Harbor Freight or any tool store. And then for the delicate places, good old-fashioned medium bristled toothbrush. Once you use this for pistols, don't brush your teeth with it, unless that's your thing. Alright, so right here is where I get most of my buildup for with the copper fouling. So I'm going to take my brass brush. I'm going to squirt a little bit of CLP on it, and I'm going to go to town on that face. You just get it in there and rub it real good. And that's about all I'm going to use this for, except for the small end. I'm going to come up here and right down in here, see that right there? That's your breech face. That's where the firing pin is and everything else. You want to get all the scoring and carbon fouling off of there. And you can use the brass brush for that. It's good. So you want to get that face nice and clean. Okay? So then I switch over to the medium bristle brush. And this little thing right here, this little goatee mustache thing, fits really, really well in the rails. So just come along the rails like that and give them a good once over. Now, you may wonder, how often do you need to clean this gun? Well, since it pulls double duty for me, it's my everyday carry. It doesn't take long for it to get dusty and nasty. And I shoot it at the range on a weekly basis. So, I'll tell you what I do. Every week, after I go to the range, either on Friday or Saturday, I clean it. I clean all my guns when I shoot them. I don't like leaving them sitting around with gunpowder residue in it or anything else. I'm gospel on keeping a clean, lubricated firearm. Okay, so next, common Q-tip. A lot of people don't like using Q-tips because they say it leaves cotton fibers around in there. But if your pistol can't handle a little cotton here and there, and it locks up because you get a little thread of cotton, then you're probably using the wrong pistol. So I just get in there and see it gets nasty. Clean down in the, I don't know if you can see this, inside here, there's, get down in those crevices, get in there real good. This is where most of your gunpowder residue builds up. Get around that breech face by the firing pin. Just go over both your rails really well. You know, if you keep your guns clean, you really don't have to worry about them getting too terribly dirty. I mean, mine never just get more than just needing a basic cleaning. I just rub it all over. And then once I get that far, I use a good old-fashioned paper towel here. And get all the extra CLP and everything off of there. it really doesn't take long. Sometimes I enjoy cleaning my guns just as much as I enjoy shooting them. I must be sadistic or something. But I enjoy it. This is my time to get away from the family. Just spend some time alone, me and my pistols. And my rifles. And just think about life in general and how much I enjoy this hobby. It's crazy how much of a whirlwind this hobby just sent me into a spiral. I mean, I fell in love with it the minute I started doing it. I got into it a little later in life than I wanted to. I had started when I was young, but my wife wasn't too keen on guns, and would just kind of freak out if she saw them. And then I had a baby, and I just decided it's not worth fighting over. But now that we're older, everything loosened up, and she's okay with it, and I enjoy the hobby. I wish I had a gazillion dollars so I could get out and get a nice collection going, but I don't. I'm everyday Joe. I'm a machinist by trade, and I'm middle class America. You know what I mean? So anyway, I give the slide a nice clean bill of health now. It's all wiped off. We got all the gummy, nasty stuff off of it. We're going to set that to the side. Now we're going to do the same thing to the frame. The CLP's had a chance to get in there a little bit. We're going to grab the my bristle brush here, and we're going to go over all the parts. Give it a good scrubbing. Now, when I first got my pistols, I used to drown them in CLP, but I found out you really don't need to if you keep them clean. It doesn't take a whole lot. This is the feed ramp here is a metal, this is a polymer frame pistol. There's a metal feed ramp right here. So I do touch that with the brass brush just to make sure it stays nice and clean. There's no fouling or buildup on it. I go over some of the metal parts inside with the brass brush, but not too much. And then I use my toothbrush to really get in there and clean things out. I'm going to pull the hammer back. Never, ever, ever pull the trigger with the hammer back unless you're there to catch the hammer. Okay? Never let it slam down, because this is a metal hammer under a lot of pressure. It slams in there. It's hitting mechanics and polymer, and it's just not good for it, and you will ruin your gun eventually. Everybody makes a mistake once in a while and accidentally snaps it, but you want to try not to. You want to avoid that as much as you can. Alright. So I'm going to drop this hammer again. Just make sure I don't make a mistake while I'm sitting here cleaning things off. So I did pretty good at the range. I've been working on my stance and my trigger control, and I'm starting to dial things in the way I want them. I had some pretty darn good groupings at 25 feet today. We're going to talk about that in a later video. Hopefully I'll get a better camera here soon, and we'll go mobile. We'll go up to the range and we'll see what there is to see, and I'll do a little support my local gun range and do some on location shooting, and then you'll see how I can shoot. Try not to laugh too hard. Alright, so I think my frame is pretty well cleaned off. I pay attention to where the rails ride. There's points here and here and back here. You want to make sure that they're all clean as a whistle. Make sure your mag well's cleaned out. Sometimes I'll just shove this thing through here and pull it up through. You don't want to get excessive amounts of lube on it. Now, if this thing isn't on my belt, it's sitting on my nightstand, or it's in my car, in the glove box, or next to me, between the seats. So it does see varying temperatures and humidity. So, of course, you don't have to worry about a polymer frame rusting, but the slide is steel, and the internal parts are steel. So you do want to keep it clean and lubricate it as much as you can. We're going to give the blacking black a good once over here. And then we're going to wipe it off. Of course, I'm doing this a little bit on the quick side, so I'm not boring you for a whole hour. I mean, we've already been in this video almost 20 minutes. Alright, now the bore. This is the cleaning rod that came with my Beretta. Came with a brass brush and a nylon brush. I just run this baby through there. The rest of the feed ramp is right here, right on the end. So you want to make sure that there's no fouling or lead or copper buildup on there. So you want to give this a good scrubbing. Once you give it a good scrubbing, all I do is put a little bit of bore cleaner on some patches. And push a couple patches through it. See that? And you just keep running those through until they start coming out clean. When they come out clean, then your bore's pretty clean. Now, when you run patches through, you always want to go from the breech side. You never want to go in through the muzzle. You can damage this. So I recommend staying away from it. Now we'll run a couple clean patches through. We'll see how it did. Starting to come out pretty clean. Yep. Now I'm going to coat this with a little bit of CLP and run it through again. That gets all the bore cleaner out of there. Bore cleaner is very corrosive, so you don't want to leave it in your barrel. And this adds just a little layer of lubrication in there. Even though my barrel's chrome lined, I know the effects of water and humidity on steel, whether it's plated or not. Alright, so we're going to wipe off the outside of the barrel a little bit. I'm pretty happy with that. Can you guys see the glistening shine on that barrel? Yeah, look at that. Alright. So now, all my parts are clean. Now we just need to oil it up a little bit. Now, it doesn't take a lot. You can go pretty sparingly. Matter of fact, polymer guns can practically run without oil. You know, they can practically just run dry. But being a machinist, I know what non-lubricated surfaces that create friction do to each other. They wear things down. Did you ever see rocks on a beach? How nice and smooth they were? They did not start out that way, folks. But even just the power of water just washes them perfectly smooth. So imagine when metal is sliding against metal and has no lubrication. It just erases itself. Alright, so we'll put the spring back in. I'm going to put a drop of lube on all my surfaces that have contact with other surfaces that move. So right where all that buildup was, I'm going to put one drop of oil on there. And I'm going to move it around with my finger. I'm going to put one drop of oil on each rail. And just do the same thing with my finger. Move it down the rail. And we're good. Same thing on the frame. One drop of oil on all 4 contact points. And one drop of oil on my barrel. See, now the PX4 has a rotating barrel. So this little groove right here actually spins the barrel every time the slide is racked. So there's a little lug on the locking block, if you can see it right there, and that runs in that groove and causes the barrel to spin. See that? So you definitely want some lube in there. It probably wouldn't hurt to use grease on that. Probably be advisable. Although Beretta doesn't call for it, I just use standard gun oil. I haven't had any problems. I'll keep you updated on that. Okay, put the barrel in, and then once you get it in there, you just give it a little click to the right. Put your spring assembly back in. All you got to do is push it forward, and it locks itself in there. Put it back on the slide. Now, the way I do it is I lay the slide upside down, and then you're good to go. Gun is now lubed. Any excess residue, I'll just rub it in with my hands. Coat the whole pistol, and then take my towel, which has a lot of miles on it of rubbing down somewhat oily guns. Restore it to a high luster. And we're now clean. I can reload it, make sure the safety is on, walk around in the chamber, and I'm ready to put it back in my holster and put it back on my waist. Thanks for watching.